What is up, Twitch? Welcome to the Tacos in the Mañana show. Whoa! It's a Saturday, ladies and gentlemen. Holy moly, holy moly, holy moly. Tacos in the chat, tacos in the chat, tacos in the mañana. Welcome to the Saturday morning show. It is a chilly 56 degrees here in California. You know that's cold for us. We don't mess with the cold here in California. Holy moly, I'm freezing my butt off at 56 degrees here in California. I'm not going to say where I'm at. You probably know if you've been watching the show. Alice Troppy in the house, Painting Polish in the house, everybody in the house. H-Town Love even, holy moly, juice gang gang, juice gang gang, juice gang gang. Everybody in the house. Here we go. Painting Polish in the house. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Haven't eaten anything yet, Painting Polish, but I do have my morning coffee. This will get me going. Been fighting a cold all week long, so gotta have that warmth in me for sure. This is just our first show for today. We got a 8 o'clock here, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, which is perfect for you guys. You guys are already wide awake. I'm barely getting up. 8 o'clock, we're coming around 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. This is the perfect time to start our first show. And another show coming up at 1 o'clock PST with the Full of Life music and art people coming in at 1 o'clock. The Full of Life music and art people coming in at 1 o'clock with a performance by Bravo 562 and the whole gang from Full of Life Music Art Festivals. But today is going to be an awesome show. It is going to be exciting and full of hypeness as always. Today's topic is going to be social media. Now, you guys know I'm an expert when it comes to this strictly business side of things, the strictly business type of social media. But today, the gentleman that we're going to have here is an expert at social media for musicians, and he helps a lot of rap artists and musicians take their social media to the next level. He's got a lot of expertise in that. Lately, you guys saw Classified on my show. That's how we found out about him. Classified was on the show. He did a great job, awesome performance, and then also talked about his life and his history and growing up as a kid there in Dallas, Texas. And then we got into the way he does social media, because the way I found him is like the social media that he puts on is incredible. I love the stuff that he does on social media. I'm so like, where'd you figure this stuff out? And he tells me about this guy, TBliss645. So I said, this guy must be on the show. He's got to get us some tips. I've been doing this for 2 years and barely got I can't even get to 1,000 followers. So this guy's got to give us some tips. He's got to help us out. Please welcome Mr. TBliss645 to the show, my friends. What's up, my man?
What's going on? The mic.
Can you? I can hear you.
The mic is disabled. Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You're good.
What? It says the mic's disabled. That's crazy.
Really? Let me see. Let me make sure everybody else can hear you. Guys, can you hear T-Bliss there? Let me know in the chat.
Let me know.
Yes, we can hear him.
That's crazy.
Nice.
Twitch is glitching out.
Twitch is
glitching out.
Dude, this is probably the easiest way to bring people in. I love this thing, and it has come so far. Have you ever used this before?
I used to use Twitch like a couple years ago, but it didn't have like this. And when I saw this, I was like, you could do this now?
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Well, dude, they've had it for a while, like maybe like a year now. And we've been messing with it, testing it, and doing some beta testing. They've been testing it, obviously. If you think it's glitchy now, you should have seen it in the beginning. Oh my God. It was, you couldn't get the vocals. The guy couldn't come in. It would be like if you switched screens, it would like drop you out. It did all kinds of wacky things, dude. It was crazy. It was nuts.
That's crazy. Hey, rags to riches story. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's it. And that's what you do. You're an expert at that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Everybody, welcome T65 to the show. This man is been doing this social media for mostly musicians. Is that correct?
Mostly musicians, yes.
Cool. Awesome. The social media sphere that you work in, is it strictly, because there's multiple platforms? There's Instagram, there's TikTok, there's Facebook, there's probably more than I can even imagine. There's used to be what's the one with the yellow? It's still morning, guys. It's still morning here. It's still morning here.
Snapchat?
Snapchat, yes, we use Snapchat a lot, and some people still do. Is your expertise strictly in the Instagram sphere, or is it more?
Yeah, so I actually started doing all the platforms, but the more I started researching and figuring out, it's like, okay, jack of all trades, master of none, essentially. So
Sure.
I decided Instagram is kind of how I grew up. That's the thing that I use the most. I see it as the most versatile.
Cool.
So I just focus mostly on Instagram. I mean, the whole thing that I do is like I help artists conquer social media with confidence or conquer Instagram with confidence so they can finally attract their ideal fans. That's the
Nice.
pitch.
Nice. So yeah, you give them the confidence. I think that's like sometimes what a lot of people need when we're training people on our site and Instagram. The biggest challenge is doing what we're doing right now, like to get somebody on a camera or to get somebody to take pictures. And a lot of them, funny thing is, and I don't know if you see this in your clients, is that they already have a bunch of content on their phone. They just don't post it. Is that what
Yeah.
you're seeing?
Yeah. I always see that. And I think the biggest thing is that I always try to tell my clients, like, okay, I see you've performed in front of like 200 plus people before, yet posting one video of you is like overwhelming. And I try to put that into
Wow.
perspective, and it's one of those things where they sometimes hear it and they're like, oh, wow, that makes sense. Like, how can I perform in front of that many people? Like, that's real people versus
Right.
being online. And I do see a lot of people like Classified. Like he had a lot of content in his vault right then and there. It's just again getting over that mental hurdle of like, who cares? I'm doing me online. The people who like me are gonna come. The people who don't, they'll go away. And really, those aren't the people you're looking for, anyways.
Huge. Yeah, that's huge. People that like me are going to come. Exactly. I've got four people right here. Look, watching right now. They like me.
Exactly.
That's awesome. We're growing, dude. That makes a lot of sense. I mean, these dudes are performing like in front of 200 people. I could never do that, but I could do this. This is no problem for me. Being in front of camera, talking in front of people, no problem. I could talk, no problem. But these guys are on 200 camera, and they have trouble just turning on their phone, doing a story or doing a live. They struggle. It's crazy.
They do. I think another big reason people struggle on social media is that they overthink it. Everyone sees like I need the DSLR camera, I need the 4K, I need the cool subtitle,
Yeah.
I need everything in place. And yet, I'm gonna be quite honest. Like you look at yours, the Race Flaves podcast right now, you got more viewers than the people who are spending thousands of dollars on the cool promo. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
then they wonder, oh, this isn't a good business idea. I must just suck. It's like, no, you're overthinking it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah, dude, that is true. When I started, I was like, okay, what supplies do I had a list. I'm like, okay, what supplies do I need? And I would ask the other thankfully, a lot of content creators are friendly. Some of them aren't, but a lot of them are really friendly, and they'll give you a list: DSLR camera, lighting, and that's all fine and good. But by the time you get the list, this is like $2,000 worth of freaking. You're never gonna do it. It's impossible. As if you're a beginner like me, you ain't got that. We ain't got that. We ain't got that. Nobody got that. Nobody in this. Nobody got that. So you just got to start. And we're in a freaking amazing time where this dang freaking iPhone is all you need, right?
Yes, 100%. And I think that's the biggest thing too is that the iPhones technology just keeps getting better and better. AI really shook the world as
Ooh.
well, where people are now using ChatGPT. They have the AI doing the captions to make them look cool, and editing is becoming more like I forget how you put it. Like it's just you can do it yourself. You don't gotta wait for somebody. You don't gotta pay somebody. Um, so it's changing rapidly, and I'm excited to see where it's going to even be next year, like in
Oh,
2024.
dude, it's gonna be out of control, dude. Think about this: when Instagram first came out, you're doing like live, like just like post only camera type stuff, and then it got into like long form with what was it, IGTV, and then finally in the last couple of years, Reels. But then even when Reels came out, it was like you click a picture, you put it in, and you kind of like can like edit like maybe switch them out. But now there's like full on editing stuff inside of Instagram where you can like stretch, you can there's tracks now. There didn't used to be no tracks. Now there's different tracks. You can put your stickers and put where you want them and where you want them to pop out. You can put your music in, and if you want, you used to be only to put one music all the way through. Potentially, I think you can put two if you shorten each one. It's getting bigger and better, and what's his name from Instagram just added some stuff this week talking about the way you can actually share to different platforms and stuff like that. They're adding new stuff all the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like social media wars, you know?
Right.
Like there's people saying no, TikTok's the place to be, but the biggest thing that I see is TikTok is big and it is growing. They are keeping a good competitive advantage. But you look at Instagram, there's like I think 2 billion users on Instagram alone.
Jesus, 2
And when
billion.
people say like, "Oh, Instagram's dying," it's just I don't think it's dying. I think it's you need to know who you're talking to and you have to have that realism because out of 2 billion people, even if you get 0.01% of those people to follow you, that's a lot. And if you get even 1% of those people to buy from you, you have a real business right then and there.
100%, dude. If you have something to sell, like I don't sell anything, but if you had something to sell, this could be. I mean, it could be astronomical. Well, the company I work for during the day, I mean, I think I don't. It's like 74,000 followers on Instagram, something like that. 700,000 followers on YouTube. They use it to get their message across. The most important thing is getting the message across, and that realism that you said, that realism of the person behind the company, behind the brand, building that brand. Then it starts to get into what you do every day, which is. Tell me when you see an artist like Classified, funny guy, he's got great content, he's got a great voice, he's a talent. What's the first thing that you kind of tell these guys? Like you sit them down, like after they, first of all, I'm sure you got to get them past the shy part first. But then what's the first thing, like as far as like strategy in like a macro, like in a macro, besides the micro, the macro picture of strategy. What's the kind of first thing you sit them down with?
Yeah, I think, like you said, the first biggest hurdle is the confidence. But once they have that, the biggest thing I need them to understand is who are you and who are you speaking to? Who are your fans?
Cool.
Because if I were to ask you Nirvana, right? Do you think people who are fans of Nirvana are really going to be messing with Meek Mill or Rick Ross? There's a chance,
Right.
but they're totally different people. And, a confused mind never buys, if that makes sense. And so you need
I
to know
love that.
who you're talking to. Like for me, I'm in a electronic depressed rapper. That's how I got my start. That's what my niche was. And I never had like big crowds jumping and chanting my name. I mean, there were a couple songs I did, but most of the time I found a lot of strength in having a small community. So I need to know like,
What
okay,
what
who do you want to be and let's lock in.
what was it called? What was
Yes.
your style of music? I don't want to skip over
I
that.
was like an electronic depressed rapper. That was
Electronic
my
depression.
yeah.
Is that an actual genre of music?
I know electronic is,
That's
and then
awesome.
you just attach an emotion to it,
That's
which is
awesome.
depressed, right?
Right.
Because like, how many people out there are like, how many times have you listened to music and you're like, damn, now I'm in my feels. Now, like, I feel that dude, and I want to learn
Right.
a little bit more about him, And that was my gimmick, I guess. I don't want to call it a gimmick because that like cheapens it, but that's who I really was. That's why I write music.
That was your
Other
niche.
people like it because they want to be, yeah, that was my niche,
Yeah.
And I know other rappers like Classified. He's been really honing into the whole struggling, be like his whole story. Like he's really been honing
Yes.
into that. He used to do the gang banging type of music. Now he's really showing you this is who I really am. This is what made me into who I am today. And that's why I love him because he's finally figuring out his voice.
That's it. That's the stuff right there. A confused mind never buys. Don't forget that, guys. Right notes. Painting Polish. Thank you for putting his Instagram in the chat. By the way, if you want to find out about T Bliss, right there in the Instagram. If you're just joining us Saturday morning, Tacos and Lemoniana with the Raised Flav Show. We're here with TBliss645 talking about social media. What's crazy is the I think at some point, like, it's huge that you get them to focus on a certain direction, because we could be like all over the place. You could be like me, doing food one moment, doing rappers the next moment. My thing is passion, though. It is honed in on passion, whether you're an artist, a painter, a guitar player, a great business person, a social media expert like yourself, whatever you have passion for. And we're finding out the whys of why people do things. That's our focus here. But getting people honed in on their niche. You had a niche for electronic, depressed electronic music. Classified wasn't it wasn't like he was. It was like he was confused by so it starts with you. You're confused. You're like, I think this rap thing should be about, and he told me, he's like, I was listening to somebody I shouldn't be listening to. And so he heard somebody give him some bad advice. He starts going down this gangster rap avenue, and it wasn't him. It wasn't the real him. So he had to, like, if you pick something that's not you, you kind of have to fake it the whole way through. And then people, it kind of is it true that it kind of portrays that you can see that fakeness, right? People can pick up on it now because you got vid, you've got audio, it's obvious on the screen, you're trying to fake something. And then when he gets into his real story, who he really is, the truth, his actual truth, where he's telling stories about the way he grew up. And if you listen to our podcast that launched on Thursday, Tuesday or Thursday on Spotify, it was he was able to tell his whole story on my show, and now he's doing that in a micro setting, like in small posts on his Instagram. People are getting to know him, and most importantly, I think what being a fan, like looking at his thing and going, dude, that's what that song was about. That's what those words were about, what he was saying. He tells the story of it in Instagram, and it kind of brings everything together, right?
It does. It does. And a lot of things that people don't understand, you even mentioned it earlier, is that emotion is what people buy. We like to think we're logical buyers, like the 15% off, but you're thinking to yourself, 15% off, I'm getting a steal, which is still an emotion. You're impulsively buying.
Right.
And it's a lot for like rap artists and music specifically. You're building an emotional tie to people. And that's the biggest thing that I saw Classified struggling with, was that, yeah, you can get some supporters, but you're going to get the wrong supporters if you're just glorifying yourself, or you're trying to act like you're essentially better than other people versus telling them your story. Like, look, I've been through the mud just like you. I am just like you, and we're in this together. You are not above or below me.
That's huge. I wonder if, like, especially for the rap genre, right? It's usually, and it's been a lot about, for the past 10, 15 years, it's all been about the cause, the money, and the girls, the cause, the money, and the girls. And like, now what I'm noticing about these hip hop artists that are around this area, at least, where I'm going to the shows and hanging out with them, is they're a little bit more humble for essence. They still got confidence. They've got swag. They've got their, they have a talent, but they don't like flaunt it the way it's been portrayed in the past. And do you think it's important that they kind of, what you just said is, if they keep, I've got this, I got that, you don't got this, it creates a disconnect with the audience, right? Whereas if they kind of humble themselves and actually tell the real story, which a lot of these guys have been through some crap. I mean, you heard Classify's story, you've heard other artists' stories that have been on the show. When they actually tell the real story, the audience actually, that's the story they wanted to hear. You could have just told that story first, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's the biggest thing, is that, like you said, they've all been through so much. And then for them to just keep hustling and them to keep working, that's what's going to build that connection. I think rap recently has made that big switch because, like you said, on social media, a lot of people see, you know, hey, I just got a new car, or look at my new music video, and it's like super fancy. And like, let's be honest, we're all tired of seeing fake. We're all
Yes.
so tired of seeing that spam to you 24/7. It's popular, it gets likes, it gets the discussion going, but there is another famous marketer that I follow. I think his name is JR, and he was saying that there is
JR.
a difference now. There's a big divide. You either A, you get the fame, but you won't get a lot of money. So if that's what you want, go for it and sign to a record label. Or B, you won't be really famous, but you'll make money because those fans feel a good connection to you and they want to pay to see your journey. So you're kind of at a crossroad. Which
I
one
love
do you
that.
want? You
I
know?
love that. That second one feels so good. Like when you said it, like it's like this organic feeling, this community that we're building, and
Mhm.
you're not uber famous, and but you have this good community, and you're able to make some change, some coin to pay your mortgage. You know what I mean? I like that. I like that because, dude, when you think about like the stuff that famous people go through too, like like people like they wish, like be careful what you wish for is what they say, right? Like you get
Mhm.
so much, there's so many things that they go through, whether it's maybe they were in the beginning they were married, and then a dude hooks up with all these chicks, destroys their marriage, and there's kids involved. That's one example. Or another example is regular guy gets famous, and then all of a sudden he's coking it up on the side and getting all drugged out, and it ruins his life and ends up diving. You hear tons of stories of that from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s. You hear stories of that, of people just ruining their lives to fame, or people that are like can't even go to the ice cream shop because their face is so famous. They can't go to they can't go to 31 flavors and get their 30th flavor because freaking everybody knows their face, and so they get it. They can't even handle the door. There's pictures all over the place, and then also somebody's trying to find a picture of you naked, and then you're all over the place. And so there's this horrible. There's kind of this. I mean, obviously they got money. Ain't nobody mad about that. But damn, there's a lot of stuff that they end up going through. Once you go, there's no going back. You can't pull yourself out of that fame, right? You already know.
Yeah, and that's the biggest thing that I think social media has really made it so that's possible is, when you think back to all the vines or the popular things like the backpack kid or like the yodeling kid, those people are always going to be known as that. They're going to have to do something big to change who they are online because everyone just, hey, that's the yodeling kid. Okay, but
Yeah.
he's more than just the yodeling kid. You know what I'm saying? And I
Jeez.
think that's why I try to stress to people, specifically artists, like, I'm not here to promise you that you're going to get millions or even thousands of followers. I'm here to promise you that the people that you do get to pay attention are actually going to care about you. Those are the people that are actually going to be there for you through thick and thin. Because I don't ever want to tell someone that I can promise you to become famous. It's just not possible. No matter how hard I even tried. Even if I had thousands of dollars, it's a crapshoot. But what I can promise you is that you're going to build a community and that you're going to be happy doing it because I'm not going to make you do something that has the chance of fame. I want you to do something that's going to give you enjoyment.
Dude, I already love your style. The way TBliss645, I hope you guys just heard all that. So if you're ever going to be working with this guy, I love the way you work, bro. What you just said is huge. There's an organic feel to it. There's a real connection feel to it. It's like you're helping people get the connection between them and their community, build stronger bonding relationships, and it's tangible. I don't know a better word for it. Like it's more instead of, because most of these gurus come out and say, I'm gonna make you famous, all you gotta do is do this 30-day course, boom boom boom, do these 5 things, boom, you're gonna be famous by the end of 10 days. I'm gonna make you the 74,000 followers, and you're gonna be on Netflix, and you're gonna be on The View. You're gonna be the biggest thing in life. So you hear that all the time. And so for someone to say, you know what, let's take it down a notch. Let's build community. Let's build connection. Let's get your brand out there. Work slow. And the biggest thing you said, it is a crapshoot. Everybody thinks they broke the algorithm. Everybody's got the algorithm secret. Dot, 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 dot. Hashtag, hashtags in the copy, hashtags not in the copy, hashtags in the comments, hashtags on the top, ats on the bottom, ats on the top, ats in the background. They got all these secrets. and nobody freaking knows. It's a crapshoot, right?
It really is a crapshoot. I think it's actually Painting Polish put up a thing in there. It said it reminded me of an essay by Kevin Kelly, "1,000 True Fans." And what's crazy is that I was actually about to go into that. So shout out to you, Painting
What?
Polish, for that.
Bam,
But it's that whole thing where it's like 1,000 fans that pay $10 for your stuff,
dude,
or 1 million followers who couldn't care less about your product. Who would you pick?
dude,
Like, which one do
yeah.
you really want in life? And plus, shouldn't you just be happy for working hard and chasing your dream? Like, I think Gary Vee said it, where it's like, you're never going to feel more alive chasing the dream and being in the mud than when you actually make it. And if you make it, that's what keeps you alive? Painting Polish said, even with IG, I'd rather have consistent engagement. Exactly. And you notice the people who double tap on every single post, like you don't. And that's when you start a conversation. You're just like, hey, dude, like, I've seen you doing this for like 2 weeks. You've liked every single post. Thank you so much. And have a genuine conversation with those people. Don't, be like, yeah, well, he's like this the whole time. I wish I had more. Be grateful even for that one person, because you never know who that one person could be, and you never know how much you could be making their day as well by thanking them. They might be thinking that you're this big hot shot, and then they get a DM from you, and then they're like, "Oh my god, Ray's Flaves hit me up. He actually
Dang.
responded to my DM." Like there's that type of feeling there, and they feel like you care instead of like, "Oh, I'm just getting a like." You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that is a good. I'm writing that down, dude. That's one thing I haven't done enough of. Is like I didn't even think about that. Like people are liking, people are liking, people are liking. You're not like you're like you heart that like maybe, but you don't ever like go and say, dude, thanks for liking this, or thanks for like you've been liking like the past 4 weeks, like constant. Thanks for that. And then that could build a conversation too. Dude, that's a freaking great tip right there. Holy moly. That's freaking awesome. Crazy, crazy, dude. I'm taking notes. By the way, I'm probably going to have you on every month just for therapy, even if it's not live. I'm going to have you on therapy because you're like, dude, I'm like, you get in this zone where you're like, nah, why am I doing this? Blah, blah, blah. No, but you just said it. Like, you're, shouldn't you just be happy, like chasing your dreams? And dude, this is the happiness. Me talking to you, talking to people, talking to people about their stories, getting history on wax, like we used to call it back in the day, but it's actually digital now. I'm getting people's stories on wax, people. That's what I'm doing, mom. That's what I'm doing, wifey. That's what I'm doing, family. I don't make money. Sorry, but I'm happy. See this face? Yee! Smile, baby. That's what I do. I make smiles. And I need you. Thank God I got T Bliss as my friend now, because he's going to be my therapist. It's going to be awesome. Alice Robbie said, a great tip. I don't do because I feel I'm being pushy, but guess time to get out of my head. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's, yeah. That's a good point. You might feel like you're being pushy or whatnot, but I think like what Jan said is like they actually get excited that you're actually responding, because like you said, even a little guy like me, Ray's Flays, somebody I respond to somebody, they're like, whoa, dude, you responded. Like they love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, and I think that's where the hard work speaks. Because like I know I've had people literally hit me up and been like, dude, I love what you're posting. I love the motivation. And they haven't liked a single post. They've never liked, they've never commented, they've never done anything. I think that's the biggest thing, is that there's a lot of people watching you, and hard work is again just going to show that you're passionate about it and that you're someone that they want on your team in the first place. And I had to deal with the same thing too, being pushy. I think even Classified said it in his what was it? He said it in the podcast. He said this man just wouldn't take no for an answer.
Oh
And
yeah.
I listened to that and I laughed my ass off, because I was like, you know what? Yeah, because there's a difference between being pushy and there's a difference between just being passionate enough to like, you have the confidence and it's like, yes, this is what I want. Because that's what every business owner is doing. Every business owner, everyone that has an idea, you need to first believe it yourself, but you need to also I don't want to say convince, but
You need to
yeah, you
sell
need to
it.
convince other people of it. Yeah, exactly. You got to sell it. And that's where becoming a businessman and becoming a salesman is such an important skill. And it's not just important for business, it's going to help you everywhere in life, for friends, for
Mhm.
romance, for anything. Being a salesman, that's all you're doing your whole life is you're selling yourself. You just might not understand that yet.
Oh, if you've been married for 11 years like me, you know you better sell yourself every day, every minute, because your wife be, she ain't buying it, but I bet you she'd be buying it for the next 25 years if I'm lucky. Boom, 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 ladies and gentlemen, hype it up in the chat. How do you help rappers find their people? Painting Polish says.
Yeah, I think that goes back to kind of knowing what you want to be able to promote for you. What is your brand? What is your niche? The other thing is knowing what type of content to make. You know, because once you know what who you're trying to speak to, then you can direct your content. And the algorithm, yes, you might not be getting thousands of views, but you'll get likes. And even those random people that like your stuff, start a conversation, talk to them. That random person
Dude.
that liked it, they liked it for a reason, you know? So hit them up and be like, "Hey, I saw that you liked my video. What spoke to you?" Or "I really appreciate that. I see on your page," and make it about them. Don't make it about yourself as well. Like if they have a public profile, open it up. They might be another rapper and be like, "Yo, I just checked out your single cuz you showed me love. I'm going to show you love back. How long you been rapping for?" Or "I see you're an artist and a creative just like me. How long you been making art for?" And really have a genuine connection. There should be no underlying gain other than building a connection. That's what I usually preach to them. And I think
Wow.
Classified's been doing a great job of that. He's been building those connections, and you see his engagement. I mean, this dude used to get like 10 comments, now he's getting 26. Now he's getting
Damn.
so much more, and it's because he's responding to the comments. He's supporting other people just as much, if not more, than they're supporting him. And he's not being ungrateful. He's grateful every single day to be doing this.
That's huge. I follow a lot of Gary Vee stuff. I obviously respond to every single comment. But I want to start getting into nuts and bolt things here. So, so there's two camps. So one of the camps told me, you know, you're posting too much. You're posting, you're right. Okay. That used to be cool. Like about 2 years ago to post 3 times a day, to, do stories, you shouldn't post on your grid because your grid looks messy, and you should post more on your story. And you don't respond to every single comment. Like that's YouTube style. You shouldn't do that. There's that camp, and then there's the camp. I got trained from was like Gary Vee. Gary Vee says post a minimum of 3 times a day. Our company posts more than that, 7 times a day with videos and stories and lives and all that stuff. So there's two camps. There's the camps. It's like post every single day, and then there's the camps like post maybe schedule it out like a Monday, maybe a Friday. End of the week, beginning of the week, end of the week, just to keep your grid clean. Like we want to make your grid look a certain way. What camp are you in?
My biggest question I ask artists is, how many times do you want to post? And I'll typically get something like, "Oh, if I start posting, I'm gonna do it seven times a day. I'm gonna do it seven times a week. I'm gonna do it every single day." And then I ask, "Okay, how many times do you realistically think you can post?"
Mm.
And that's when you kind of have to look at yourself and ask yourself, how many can I? Most people, in my opinion, can only post 3 times a week, and there's nothing wrong with that. You need to understand what you want from it. If you can post every single day, go for it. I say go for it.
I
If
was
you can
doing
only
that,
post
like,
3 times a week,
yeah.
yeah,
I was like
yeah,
on fire. I was like, boom, 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 because I'm always somewhere interesting. So I'm like, take a picture, boom, boom, boom. And then some dude's like, "Dude, you post too much." And my daughter told me that too, because I was like, well, the kids are hip. She's like, "Dude, you post like constantly, like settle down a little bit." So I was like, well, that's cool, because like you said, it's like like I was not killing myself. I think for me, it's easy, but it was like I was like, well, I don't have to post every day. I was like, dude, well, I can relax then. I can chill a little bit. And I think for me, it was more about workflow. Well, now if I can not have to post so much, I can write more questions. I can, work on some blog stuff, write some stuff, work on some other stuff that I'm doing, work on editing. So for me, it was like, it gave me more time. And obviously I have a family, so it gave me more time with the family. So I was like, cool, I don't have to post so much. And I started to see a little bit of pickup, which was weird. So I don't know. I'm on the fence. I don't know.
Yeah, and I think like you said, like other people, like they can detect a fake rapper. They can also detect on if you're being fake with your content and how often you're posting.
Mm.
I had to learn that the hard way too. I used to do 2 times a day. Then I did once every day. Then I went down to like 5, and then I went down to 3. And it's finding that happy medium. What makes you happy, and what's going to make the other people happy as well. And it also depends on your goal. Like if you want brand awareness, you're just trying to get your brand out there and people to hear you and listen to you. Yeah, you're gonna have to annoy them. I mean, when you drive back on the highway and you see a McDonald's ad, cool. You see it on the TV, cool. You hear it on the radio, cool. You see the golden arches, cool. Does that get annoying to you, or do you just know they exist?
You don't know. Well, I'll tell you what happens. Next thing you know, you got freaking nuggets in your face, and you're eating fries like a freaking like they're M&Ms. That's marketing,
Yup.
baby. That's what happens. You're absolutely right. So, dude. Yeah, if that's why he does, dude. Why don't I listen to Gary Vee? So you post because to get it out there, and it may seem annoying to some people, but you got to get it into their brains. You got to get your brand into their subconscious, because we don't buy on a conscious level. We buy on a subconscious level. We buy with emotions, like you said. And when you see it, that's why it's like this. That's why it's like this. There's things floating through, and then your brain is sucking that stuff in, and eventually you're buying Nikes.
Yeah, exactly. Eventually, you buy the brand, and again, I think it depends on the goals. If that's your goal, you just want to get your brand out there and people to just listen to you. Post every single day. If your goal is to start finding more work-life balance, or you're trying to just outreach more people and get profits, slow down on the posting.
Wow.
Your business is completely changing. Nothing is going to stay linear. It's never going to stay the same. So you need to understand what your goal is from the beginning. And right now I'm in the growing slash, I guess, reanalyzing phase right now. I'm learning new techniques so that I can pass it down to people that I'm coaching. I'm also learning, okay, what type of content can I sustain? How am I using a new content calendar? What do I want to do for 2024? And you're not seeing me post as aggressively, but it's because internally I'm doing work. And you have to be okay with not getting that validation too, because those likes, I mean, I can't speak for everyone, but when you're posting every single day, there is a little bit of that addiction of like, yeah, I'm working hard and I'm getting likes every single day. And it's hard to slow down from that because you feel that validation. You feel like you're working really hard, but sometimes you're just hitting your head against a wall and you're not really making real progress, if that makes sense.
It makes total sense. And I love that you give your clients an option, because most of the social media gurus that you work with will be like, this is how you're going to do it, and that's it. It's either going to be you need to post 4 times a day, or hey, chill out. Either camp, it's like they're rock, like this is how it is, black and white. You're like, let's see how your life is. Like, damn. Let's think about it. Like you have a family, you have a day job too. Like if you need to chill out, you could chill out. Give yourself a break. In the beginning, it's let's get you posting, so that, because you're probably not posting at all. But in the mid section of your building your brand, it's like, let's see how your workflow is. Let's see what you can do, how much you can take, how much you can put out there, and then pull it back a little bit and find that mid range, right?
Yeah, and that's why so like I have the 3 phases essentially. Phase 1 is the brand, and phase 2 is the content creation. So I kind of figure out, what do you want to make? Do you want to make trending audios? Cool. You don't? That's fine. Are you more of like a picture designer? Let me see what your strengths are and let's work together on that, and let's really utilize that, because that's also what makes you you. Not everyone is going to be well with trending audios. Now, classified, this man is hilarious and he just has a
Yeah.
gift with that. But not every client I've had has had a gift with that. other clients have had gifts with creating cool little square things, and you would think, well, that's not going to gain you traction. It's not going to hit the algorithm. I don't care if it's hitting the algorithm or not, because that's what they want to do, you know? And I teach
Wow.
them techniques like the content calendar. Like if you print it out when you go to work, I assume you don't just wake up and you're like, well, time to go to work. You probably have your calendar set out. You do the same thing with your doctor's appointments. You do everything else. You plan it out. Why not do it with your calendar? If you're taking it seriously and you really want to make this a real thing, you have to treat it like a business.
Content
So
calendar,
treat
you
it
said?
like it's a real thing. Yeah, it's a content calendar. I actually have a free template I typically give people just because I want people to see what it's like to use it. I also have
Wow.
a video to explain it as well. Um, and it's just because I want people to know like planning and time management is the most crucial thing. And batch creation, learning how to create content where it's like, all right, on the weekend, let me make 3 videos on the weekend and be done. Boom. I got the whole next week to just chill, think, brainstorm, work, hang out with the fam, do what I need to do, and be a real human being. And then I can go back to working on the business on the weekend.
That's
But
sick.
that's phase 2 is learning the techniques and knowing what you want to make.
And then what's phase 3?
Phase 3 is we after you've implemented that and you've had your content coming out, we go back and we track the results.
Track results.
So we look at, okay, how accurate were you with posting 3 times a week or 7 times a week? Were you falling short? Did you feel like you could do more? Okay, great. Let's redefine your goal and let's either increase it or let's lower it. Which pieces of content did you enjoy making? Did you enjoy making trending audio? Great. Let's double down on that and let's do it. Did you hate making that? All right, let's think of something different. Let's think of a totally different content idea. And now you probably have a better understanding of what you want to make because you've had that practice. And let's also figure
Nice.
out which posts perform the best, you know?
Mm.
And that's all just looking back and seeing what's working and what's not. And this is the hardest part to get through a lot of people's heads is that it's not going to be perfect the first time around. But every single time you improve, and if you're tracking, you're going to know that you're improving. It's like losing weight, right? It takes a year to get really, really fit if you're dedicated.
Right.
But every single day, you're seeing yourself as still that unhealthy person. But if you take progress pictures, you track your weight, you do all these things, then you look back and you're like, whoa, I cut half my weight. I doubled my likes. My engagement rate is through the roof now, but you don't see it when you're in the middle of it. What is it? You can't see the forest through the trees? I think that's a
Yeah.
saying or something.
You
Yeah.
you want to track results. What's crazy is yeah, you need to track results because like you said, like right now, that's a good example of the working out analogy that you use because right now I just started working out like a couple weeks ago. So like I'm not buff as you can see. I still got a big belly, but I feel good. Like I'm healthy. I can move. What I noticed this morning is I can like move better. I'm more agile. You know, just the fact that I can move more at my age is great. You know, so everybody has different goals, but oh damn, who got to redeem push-ups? Damn, talking about exercise. She just redeemed 5 push-ups. Holy moly! Let me switch to the studio cam. TBliss, give me a second. I got to do 5 push-ups for the redeem. Hold on one second. Holy moly! Let me set this camera up. I didn't even ready for that paint polish. Holy moly! Jesus, my community is out of control already, and this is just the first show. Holy moly! Let me resume this. Cool. Let me switch to the food camera. Try to see if you guys can see this. Food cam. There's the studio. Let me get a little lower because I'm gonna be down there. All right. I'm gonna do my 5 push-ups. Painting polish. Give me 5 push-ups. Let's get this. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you wake up in the freaking morning. That's what I'm talking about. Woo! 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 Alice Frop, you trying to give me some too? Oh my gosh. Trying to get me. You guys gonna get me in shape today. Holy moly. Woo! You see what they make me do, TBliss? Oh my gosh. Holy moly. Woo, talk about working out. So, but dude, did you guys notice the difference? Did you guys see how I knocked out those 5 push-ups? And the other day when Mike was here, I almost died. dude, I knocked out those 5 push-ups like nothing. So, dude, that's improvement. That's a result. So that's what we're talking about here, tracking those results. So phase 1 was brand awareness. Phase 2 was content creation. I like I love the way you do things because you actually give them a choice. Because most people, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. Because I know what you're like. Well, what do you like to do? Like nobody's going to do something they don't like to do. So that's genius that you do that. You're like, well, what kind of content do you actually like posting? What kind of content do you actually like filming? What kind of content, do you like to speak? Do you like to do just vid? There's so many things you can do. And I think people get stuck of just doing one thing. And they go, well, I can't get on a video because I'm shy. But there's so many other things that they can do, right?
There are. And, actually, painting polish 100%. If you burn them out, then you have no content. It's 100% the same thing. Same with working out. If you think about it, it's the exact same stuff. Like I want to post 7 days a week starting right now. Okay, let's make it so you work out 7 days a week right now after you've never posted or never worked out before. Let's see how that
You'll
goes.
hurt yourself.
Most of the time, exactly. You'll hurt yourself. You'll burn out. You won't feel the passion anymore, and you'll just give up. And that's the biggest thing that I hate seeing is I see these artists and there's so much wasted potential in a lot of people just because they burn themselves out or they truly don't believe in themselves. And I want to make that change. I want people to see that potential because I know what it feels like to be in that spot where no one believes in you. And I don't want to see the same people like not chase their dreams or be happy just because, well, it's just not going, it's not for me. I hate seeing that. That's the biggest thing for me.
That's awesome. I've been dying to ask you this question. I'm wondering if you've seen like on Instagram. Okay, so there are literal accounts that all they do is regurgitate other content from other content creators, right? They don't make their own posts. They just put up a trending video from this person, a trending video for that person, a trending video, tons of posts, but all of them are somebody else's stuff. It seems to me like all of those accounts have like 74,000 followers, 80,000 followers. What do you think about that? Those accounts that regurgitate other people's content and then they're like 80,000. I don't know why they're doing it, but they have like the most followers of anybody.
Yeah, my biggest thing is, are they selling anything in the first place? And if they are, it's most likely a funnel, if that makes sense. Have you ever heard of it's a strategy. It's kind of like the follow unfollow method, which is a bad strategy, by the way. I don't believe in that method where you find random people, you follow them, and then after like 3 days you unfollow them.
What?
Because there's no genuine feeling to that. It's kind of like where the people are like, check out this profile, or like, I'm the best rapper. You check it out, and then it chains you to go to their main profile. It's a gimmick, in my opinion. Now it works. It does work. But in my opinion, I see no pride in it. I'd much rather get it from the mud than using other people's content.
So it's a sales funnel. So it's essentially a sales funnel.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a lead magnet. Yeah.
That's why, dude. That's why you'll get like these like probably like robots or whatnot, but it'll be like this TNT 949999 liked your post. Sally 555555 followed you, and they follow you, and so say you had 50 followers, and then you're like, oh cool, I got 51, and then like an hour later it goes back to 50. So they're just liking and unliking on. They're just like that's why you get like, that's why if you look at your if you look at your statistics, you'll see, oh, I got 50 followers this month, but lost 20, and now I have 30. So it's like, so it's because people are liking and unliking. They're trying to suck you into their content, right?
Yeah, because it's a basic psychology. I mean, if you have 50 followers, even 1,000 followers, I mean, I'll admit I fall for it sometimes. I see someone like my content and I'm like, who is this guy? Tap his profile. Oh, he's just trying to sell me something. And if you put the shoe on the other foot, essentially, I think I said that right. But if you look at it from the other perspective, how does that genuinely make you feel? You probably feel used. You feel like you were tricked, manipulated to go
Yeah.
check out somebody else's stuff. It's a very selfish way of doing something. But if you're giving free content, free information, and you're not liking other people's stuff and you're just letting them come to you naturally, they don't feel like they're being sold. They don't feel like they feel like I think what's the saying? People hate to be sold, but they love to buy.
Mm.
They consumers want to know that they are buying themselves. They don't want to feel like they're being tricked into being bought, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That makes total sense. It makes total sense. It's crazy because you'll hit it, and it's like girl on the beach with a watch, or a girl with their camera on the phone. It's the same. And if you hit somebody, it's all the same thing. Like three of these robots have the same exact pictures of the chick on the beach with the camera eating breakfast.
Yeah.
Eating breakfast on the beach with the camera, the shot of the camera. It's the same like library of pictures that these robots have, and they're constantly hitting up your stuff. It's crazy. But yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, man, these guys, they don't do anything else. They don't post their own content, but they post everybody else's content. They have 74,000 followers, but then it's like, what the heck are they selling? Like, so it's like some sort of like just robots basically, right?
Yeah, it's mostly bots. They're either trying to sell something or they're building up to selling something. I think at the end of the day, whatever they're trying to do, it gets them followers, but it goes back to the whole what is better 80,000 followers that actually like, or 80,000 followers that like other people's content, or 8,000 or 1,000 followers that actually like your content. Which one do you genuinely want?
Yeah, you want that community. Exactly. You want real followers. I love the organic way that TBliss645 does it. He's got a program called Content is King program. Talk about the Content is King program. Is that part of the phases that you talked about earlier?
Yeah, so the Content is King program is a 6-week program. We go through 3 phases. Number 1 is build your brand. I help you figure out who you are as an artist and what makes you stick out, kind of like a peacock. Step 2 or phase 2 is real content, real results. This is where we figure out what you want to make and how we can make content that's going to be sustainable while learning posting techniques to make it so you can continue posting. Then phase 3 is essentially build it and they will come. And so we actually start posting. We can be posting in the previous stages as well, but we really double down and then we reanalyze and we figure out, okay, what worked and what didn't. We do that for 6 weeks. We kind of come together and we meet once a week and we talk about what's going on. And you have full access to me throughout those 6 weeks. You know, if you got to hit me up, you need an emergency call, you need some tips, I got you. I'm not going to let my clients feel like, oh, we can only talk during that once a week meeting. I want you to know that I'm there to support you. I mean, classified, I still support him. You know, he's technically not even like in the program, but I still support him. I still give him tips, and it's because if you supported me and you believed in me to help you, then I'm gonna all the way help you, regardless of if you're paying me or not. Because
That,
at the end of the day, it's a team effort.
that's awesome. What does something like this cost, by the way?
It ranges.
It ranges?
It really does.
Okay. So it's
Yeah.
based on the person.
Based on the person and the demands, what you're looking for, you know,
Right.
because I want to first of all make sure that you know the program is the right fit for you. You know, if we're not vibing or if it's not what you're looking for, I get a lot of people who come on there and say, oh, you're gonna make the content for me, right? You're gonna run my
Dude,
ads.
that always happens to me. Like, oh, you're going to do it for me. I'm like, no, I'm training you to do it.
Right, exactly. And the biggest thing that I try to say is like what is it, what feed a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach a man to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. That's what I'm
Yes.
trying to do for you, you know.
People don't get it. It's funny that the business owners will tell me, like, can't you just do this for me? I'm like, are you sure you want to pay me what I'm going to charge you to do this forever? Or do you want me to teach this to you so that you don't have to pay at all? Which would you rather have? Like, I mean, as a business owner, think. I mean, I'd love to get money, but you know, I can train you. You can do this yourself. Painting Polish wants to know what kind of analytics do you use? Do you use just the ones that IG built in? Pretty much, right?
Pretty much. I do use that. Now, there's other ways you can do it. Like you can purchase the premiums for Hootsuite, or you can do other things that give you better statistics. But most of the time, you can find the statistics on Instagram. And the whole point of this is to reduce your overhead, not to increase the overhead. So it's one of those things where Classified even said it, where he was part of that cohort or whatever, and they sold him on it for like $1,000+ or something. And then they
Yeah.
told him, all right, now you got to buy like 6 other programs, which all are going to cost another $1,000. So
Damn.
I try to teach you how to do it with the organic stuff, just so you don't have to keep increasing the overhead, because less overhead, more profit.
Yeah, it's practically free. It's even if you I did an ad on TikTok the other day. I mean, literally it's less than $1 a follower you end up getting if you run an ad on TikTok. It's so ridiculously cheap. So if you wanted to do in the future, not only if you're selling something, I did it for fun just to mess around, but if you're selling something and you want them to see a post where you're selling a product, it's, as a business, it's so ridiculously cheap. The dollar for dollar on the return on investment is ridiculous. It's freaking amazing. It's crazy. But this is the guy you want to get with, TBliss645. I love the organic way that he does things. He actually sounds like a person. Like I've dealt with people before that have these programs, and basically you do what they say. That's it. That's the way it goes, and you better start moving. T Bliss will listen to you. He will want to understand how you want to do your content, how you want to build your brand. He wants to hear how you want to build it. And from there, he will customize a program for you. And in 6 weeks, with his 3 phases, he's going to turn you into a rock star. He's not guaranteeing anything, but I am, because I see the way he does it. He's going to turn you into a rock star. I see the way he did it with Classified. Classified's blown up. He did 1,000 followers in like less than a year, which is incredible. And I like the way. I'm a guy that doesn't, I don't know, maybe I'm weird. I don't do it for the likes. I don't do it for the followers. I kind of just like doing funny stuff on video, or I like writing too. So I like writing the copy. That's not a problem for me. So I like the way he does it organically. He's building community. He's having fun. And that's the way I like it. So my man, thank you so much for sharing these strategies with us.
For sure, anytime. And again, if you need some therapy sessions, I got you.
Nice, I do. I always can use therapy sessions. That's what I'm talking about. Oh man, this is the Early Morning Tacos in the Mountain Show, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you want to get a hold of him, there's his Instagram in the chat. Let me put it again. I'm going to take my time here leaving, because I want to make sure we get him in the chat there. Hold on a second. There's his Instagram in the chat, TBliss645. That's the guy you want to see for your social media strategies and everything to do with social media. If you're struggling, if you're a business, this is the guy you want to see. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to catch us at 1 o'clock for the show with, man, I forget their name, but I know Bravo 652. First of all, Bravo 562 is going to be performing with us live at 1 o'clock at the 1 o'clock hour, 1 o'clock PST, and also the music festival. This guy's got me so blown away on social media. I got so many ideas just from talking to you, dude, that I can't even think right now. I'm just thinking about social media. Now I want to go do the flip and do a couple of videos right now. Just crazy flip. Crazy. Guys, this is the guy to see. Guys, thank you so much for listening. 1 o'clock. The Music, Love, and Arts Festival is what I'm calling it. I always get the names wrong. You guys know me. Join us, twitch.tv/Ray's Flaves. Ray needs to focus. I need more coffee. My freaking coffee mug's empty. It's splashing all over the place. It's out of control here. Twitch.tv/Ray's Flaves. Guys, thank you for joining us, and we will see you at 1 o'clock.